Okay, so we are live currently. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our Holiday Eye Makeup 101. Sherry and I are going to share with you some of our application tips for eyeshadows. She's going to show you how to apply your eyeshadow for more of a hooded eye, and I'm going to show you how to apply your eyeshadow for more of a standard eye. And before we get started, I want to show you our 3 different palettes that Mary Kay has to offer to hold your eyeshadows and also any of your cheek color, contour, highlight shades as well. And we've got 3 different sizes to choose from. So ours are refillable. And they have a magnet base. And this is our big, huge palette pro. And this holds every single eyeshadow that we offer. And you can also put a couple of cheek colors in here as well. So you can see that even if you don't have spots filled, like if I do this, nothing's falling out. So you could just put a couple of shadows in there and fill it as, you know, over time. So this is the Pro palette. And then we have our, I think this is just called the regular palette. So this one, you can put 6 eyeshadows on one side. You could put another 6 over here, or you could put 2 cheek colors or cheek color, highlighter, bronzer, contour, however you want to do that. But again, a magnet base, so nothing is falling out, and very easy to just pop out whatever shadow. There's a little indentation. You stick your finger in and pop the shadow out. And then we have our super cute little petite mini palette that just holds 4. And this is perfect for all of you gals that maybe don't want to own a ton of eyeshadow colors. You want just like one simple look that you can do every single day. This is your palette. This is the perfect one for you. So those are the palettes that we have to offer that are refillable. And I want to talk really quickly before Sherry does her demonstration. You need good tools to do your eye makeup. Yes, the quality of your eye makeup or the makeup that you're using is really important. Because if you're using, you know, not the best quality eyeshadows, cheek colors, the pigment, you're going to be able to tell like the quality of the pigments are going to be different. They won't be maybe as rich. They won't look true to color. But even more importantly, when you go to apply your eye makeup, it's really important that you use a good quality brush. I am not trying to knock any brands, and I'm not going to talk about brands, but please don't go to like the dollar store and buy eyeshadow brushes and then expect for your eye makeup to go on nice and smooth. If you're using lower quality eyeshadow brushes, you're not going to get a very good application. The eyeshadow is not going to look great. It honestly, a lot of it has to do with your brush. And I'm not saying you need to go out and spend like $30 on a brush. That's ridiculous. We have great quality brushes that are really good price point that it's not going to break the bank. And so I want to show you these really quickly, explain how you use them. On ours, on the handle, it tells you what brush this is. So this is the all over shadow brush. So this one you can use to apply shadow to your lid. You can blend with this as well. So like for your base color, you can use this brush. And then we have our crease brush, and you can see this one's angled. And the way that you hold this and use this is like this, because the tip is going to go into the crease, and this part right here is going to hug that brow bone and place the color there. So you're going to go back and forth like a windshield wiper. You're not going to turn it sideways like this. You want it up and down like this when you use it. So this is going to apply those colors to your crease and to your brow bone. And then we have our cute little smudger brush, which is one of my favorites. This one, if you have a really petite eyelid, this is a good brush to get that outer corner, your accent color, or you can use it to smudge your eyeliner. You can apply eyeliner to the lower with this as well. This is one of my favorite brushes, super cute little brush. And then my other most favorite brush that we have is our blending brush. It's super fluffy. It's like a powder brush, but in eyeshadow size. So this one you'll go back and blend all of your eyeshadow colors with. And one other tip that I want to give you before I turn it over to Sherry, anytime that I'm doing eyeshadow, I always have a dry washcloth, because in between brushes and colors, I am cleaning off my brush between color and use. Because if you don't do that, you might as well just take the brush in all of your colors and swirl them around, then put them on. So I have my washcloth to clean brushes. We do have a brush cleaner. Continuing, I'm hoping they're just coming up with a better formula and they're going to bring it back, because we do, the brush cleaner is pretty amazing. But you can also Google homemade recipes for brush cleaner if you like. There's plenty of them all over the internet as well. So, all right, Sherry, I'm going to hop off the screen and turn it over to you. So Sherry is going to show us how to apply eyeshadow for a hooded eye.
Can you stay for a second though?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Because I want for ladies to see the difference. You can see with Nicole's eyes that are standard, her brow or her eye socket bone is very defined. Like you can literally see the crease in her eye because of where her bone structure is at. I have more hooded eyes. So what that means is you can't see that structure on my eye. Hooded eyes tend to have more skin, less bone structure there. So the way that we're going to be applying is going to be a little bit different, but I wanted to show that because you can very clearly see, and I'm going to pull my hair back, you can very clearly see Nicole's structure with her having a standard eye. And for hooded eye, you just don't see that structure. You just tend to see more of the skin. So I'm going to show you the little trick of what we do to give the appearance of a little bit more structure. So thank you, Nicole. So what I've done on one eye is I've gone ahead and put the eye look already on. So I'm going to show you how I did that on the other. Now I have to say, you guys voting on these colors, these are colors, the darkness of the browns, like the espresso here on the end is a color that I don't normally use. So this was kind of fun, stretched me outside my comfort zone a little bit. So thank you for your voting and selecting the look that you wanted us to try. So what we have here is, I think this is the C look. So if you selected C, thank you. So you can see that with the eye color on here, it gives almost the appearance of that eye structure that Nicole has naturally. So that's kind of what this whole thing does. So what we're going to do is we have biscotti, we have moonstone, we have burnished bronze, and we have espresso. These are the 4 colors. So what I'm going to do is show you, and I have a mirror right here. So I'm going to I have it set up here so that at an angle, you're going to be able to see where I apply this at. So, and I have a little cotton pad, kind of the way Nicole has her little washcloth. So I'm going to have to steal her idea. So we start with the first color. The first color is going to be the biscotti. And so for those of us with hooded eyes, what tends to work best is if you have a matte or a muted tone on the bottom rather than having something with shimmer all over. So we're going to use a little bit of shimmer, but we have to use it a little bit more sparingly because keep in mind, shimmer draws attention to the light. And so we have certain areas with hooded eyes where we want to draw the attention to and not necessarily all over. So biscotti is a mute or a matted tone. It doesn't have any shimmer to it. And so I'm just going to go all over from the lid all the way up to the brow. So just kind of all over. Now I'm going to give you a little tip here. When I was younger, I could just go do back and forth. What I've noticed is as I mature, adding a little pat to that helps a lot. The other benefit too is with a little bit more mature skin, making sure that you have a matte tone also works well. So it's I'm going back and forth, but I'm kind of doing it in small little pats. Do you see that? Okay. So that's kind of, if you have more mature skin, that's a little tidbit. Make sure with the lightest color, as long as it's a matte, which this one is, also going in this area is super key. Kind of highlights the eyes a little bit more. So that's the base color. Okay. Now the next one is the moonstone. which we're going to use up by the brow here, but we're going to do it after. So we're kind of jumping to color number 3. So we're going to work with the burnished bronze, which is this one right here. Okay. And this you want to use that other brush. So this was the flat brush that Nicole was talking about. And we're going to actually work with the angled brush so that it goes right in where the placement, or excuse me, no, I'm not doing that yet. Sorry, I'm jumping to number 3. So we're going to be working with the lid, okay, just like on the lid here. So I'm getting a little bit of the burnished bronze. So this third color here, just a little tiny bit because it's a very dark color. Our pigments are pure pigments with our eye colors, so they will, a little bit will go a very, very long ways. You will get eye colors through Mary Kay that you will literally have for years if that's what you want. Okay, so this is the third color, and so we're going to go just on the lid. So once again, I'm kind of patting it. I'm moving it around kind of on the shape of the eyeball a little bit. And I'm just kind of patting it, getting a little bit more. So I'm going back and forth, but add that pat if you have a little bit more mature skin, okay? And I'm kind of going up to the crease. Now we're going to take that third color, the espresso, or excuse me, the fourth color, the really deep one. Once again, very small amount. And I'm kind of sticking it in that little area, kind of where the eye socket's at. And I'm kind of going pat, pat, pat. So I'm going right in there, and then I'm coming right up onto the bone. Now, those of us with hooded eyes, it's not that we don't have a bone there. It's because we have extra skin that the bone isn't prominent. So what we want to do is actually put color, the darkest color, on kind of on that bone, and then right below in where the eye socket is. And I'm kind of pat, 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 pat is what I'm doing. You can kind of see how I'm doing that. Key with this color, it needs to be a matte color. It needs to have no shimmer. Okay. And the reason why is because keep in mind that anything with a shimmer is going to draw attention to it. It's going to highlight. So we don't want to highlight this. We actually want to visually push it back, which is why we're placing it right on that bone and right below in the eye socket. And so we want to visually push it back. So keep in mind, darkness recedes, lightness enhances. So putting the darkest color on here is visually going to push that back. And that's what we want, is we're visually pushing back that extra skin that we have so that we can actually make the eye bone appear a little bit more prominent. Okay. Then what I do is I grab a little bit more of that biscotti and just blend that edge a little bit so that it blends nicely. And then I'm taking the color off my brush. I'm now going to the final color, which is color number 2. It's the moonstone. Oops, can you see that? The moonstone. This one has a little bit of shimmer to it. So what we have is we have matte. Then we went to a shimmer on the lid. Then we went to matte on the eye socket. And now we're going to a shimmer that we're going to use up by the brow bone. So it's kind of highlighting. You can kind of see the shimmer going on there, right? Because visually what we want to do is we want to draw attention up. We want to minimize the extra skin in here, which visually pulls the eye socket forward. So that's the hooded eye. So I will turn that over to Nicole.
I just learned a lot. I've never watched you do your makeup before. And that was like, you did so, like, I mean, I know you were going to do good. Like you were just like such a natural, like the way that you were. I mean, I learned so many great tips. I didn't realize with hooded eye about the use of mattes and shimmers and being really careful with where you placed them. Like I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Awesome. I love that.
Well, see, but you have standard eyes, and so for you, you don't really have. You can just play and have fun. There's not really any because you're just accentuating what you have. With
Yeah.
hooded, you are trying to visually change that appearance a little bit. So yeah.
Optical illusion. That's why I love, I think like makeup, it's art, right? And everybody if your canvas is now your face instead of an actual canvas, and it's about that optical illusion. It's the same. We'll have to do a contour highlight
Ooh, that'd be
tutorial
fun.
as well, because that's the same thing as you're
Mhm.
highlighting parts of your face to make certain parts stand out and make other parts recede and go away. So
Correct.
it's all about that visual, that optical illusion. And it's pretty crazy what you can do with makeup and make you can make yourself look like you have things that you don't have.
Correct. Correct.
Let's just say it that way.
And thank goodness on that.
Yeah.
For those of us that weren't born with the perfect structure and that sort of thing, thank goodness that there are those tips and techniques. Yes.
Yes. I'm just going to leave you on the screen with me, Sherry, because I feel like it's better when we're together.
Okay.
So this was, I can't remember if this was A or B, but everybody was so afraid. Like everybody kept voting on C. So it's more of the muted palette, not muted, but more like natural earth tone. Everybody was afraid of the purples. And what I'll say is I love the purples because I have green eyes. And so if you were to look at the color wheel, if you look at green and then all the colors opposite of green, purples are usually my best friend and they make my green eyes stand out. So I was all about doing one of the purple palettes. So we decided to do two. So the one that Sherry showed you was definitely the palette that did receive the most votes. And this was like kind of sort of the runner up. And so the colors that I have in here are, again, the biscotti, which is what she used for her base coat. I have dusty rose, sweet plum, and then mahogany, which actually back in the day, this used to be, I believe, cinnabar is what we used to call this back in the day. So it's kind of a purple, so purple pink, and this is like a reddish brown color. So for me with my eyes, I always like to do my lightest shade first, because just like with Sherry, I will take my lightest shade and I do like to apply it all over. And then I like to kind of go in order of like lightest to darkest, because there, like Sherry said, there's really no wrong way to do makeup on a standard eye, because we're not trying to make anything go away or accentuate anything. So I'm going to go ahead with my all over brush first and the biscotti. I do also, just for me, I like using a mixture of mattes and shimmers, just because I feel like when you do matte and shimmer together versus all matte or all shimmer, it gives you almost like more definition. It's almost like your makeup stands out more. I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining it, but to me, that's just what I really love to do them to do both. So this biscotti is what Sherry used. It's going to go all over. It is a matte. And let's see, I'm going to turn my mirror like this so then you guys can see. So same thing. And I also do a patting motion when I put my eyeshadow on. It's also really important too, when you're using your brushes, we're not using the tip of the brush. You want to use the actual full surface of the brush. So you can see that we both had our brushes flat as we were putting the color on our eye. So I'm just putting this all over my entire from lash to brow. And then I'm just going to clean this off so then I can go back in and just kind of blend it a little bit before I go to my next color. And I've done my makeup all different ways. I'm going to keep this kind of simple. We can go more in depth in other makeup tutorials with some of the crazy ways that I've worn 4 and 5 colors of eyeshadow. So I will keep it simple for you this evening, though, so it's not too complicated. I'm going to go next to the Dusty Rose. I'm going to use the same brush. I cleaned it off. This is the all over brush. And this color is going to go on my lid. Because you can see a lot of my lid, it's okay to wear all different colors. With Sherry having more of a hooded eye, if you put too dark of a color on the lid, it's just going to make your whole entire eye like recede into your head, like disappear and go deeper. So for somebody like me, it's okay to wear any shade of the rainbow, on my lid. It's not going to impact anything. When I do put this shade on, I do try and just do like the outer 2/3 and leave the inner part highlighted. And I will go back in and touch that up. And I just stay within the lines of my eyelid. And then again, I'm cleaning off my brush. I like to blend just a little bit in between each color. I mean, for me, it just makes it easier because usually, like I said, when I do wear eyeshadow, I do tend to wear a lot of different colors. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to move to is going to be the Sweet Plum. So it's the third color here. I'm switching over to our crease brush because for me, I will wear this color a couple different ways. I technically could put this like in my crease. It would be fine. I do like to bring my color up just a little bit. So I do have it in my crease, but then I do place it on my brow bone. So you can see how I'm going back and forth. And again, I go about 2/3 of the way in. I kind of stop like where my natural lash line stops and then just brushing back and forth. So when my eye is opened, you see how you can see that above my lid, my lash line. Another tip too, when you're doing your crease like this or your brow bone, I like to go ahead and place this color on both eyes. So that way I can look in the mirror and I can make sure, okay, it's in the same, distance on each eye. It's the same height on each eye. And as long as everything looks for the most part the same, then I'll go ahead and go in and blend. But I just like to go ahead and place it so I can compare and make the adjustments before I start blending. Just for me, it's a little bit easier. So I've got that. It's the Sweet Plum that I just placed my crease a little bit on my brow bone. I'm going to go ahead and take the the blending brush. And when I blend in because I don't want to blend out this way because I'm going to pull the color out. I'm going to have wings and then that's going to make my eyes look droopy. That's not the effect that I'm going for. So I'm just going to real lightly, I'm not really being aggressive, but I'm just going to go in and blend. And realistically, what I want to do is smooth the edges of that color so you can't really see the lines of that color anymore. Okay, now I'm going to use my fourth brush. This is a smudger. I like to use this for that accent color on the outer corner. And I'm going to use, and I keep wanting to call this mahogany, or cinnabar, but it's mahogany. So this is that like reddish brown color. And when I put this on my brush, I like to draw, I call it, the Pac-Man mouth, how it looks like. So I call it the Pac-Man mouth because you draw it's like a V, but I think of it like a Pac-Man mouth, right? Because you see how I drew that V there. And then once you have it in place, smudger brush, oh my gracious sakes, blending brush. And again, I'm just going to go in and blend and just smooth all the edges of that. So now you can see, and I mean, you can see how this brown blended in with the purple as well, but this is my darkest color right here. So it's my color that's going to stand out the most. And then I do like to go in and I'll use the little smudger brush. I'll clean it off and take some of my Biscotti again and just kind of go in on the inner part of my eyelid to highlight that. Because that does, as you're blending and stuff, it's going to get covered up. And so I like to make sure that I keep everything in here light. Because I am a little deeper set, like right in that area. And you can use shimmer. I mean, I know that's kind of a trend and fad right now, like the teenagers. Having a teenage daughter, she'll put the shimmer in there. But I just feel like for us mature women, I'm not all about all the sparkle at this age anymore. I like a little bit, but not a ton. So I prefer a matte to kind of highlight in there. But that is, for a standard eye, that would be the way that you could do that. Now, you don't have to do 4 colors. You could have stopped with the Sweet Plum, right there in the crease in the brow bone, blended that in and been done. So it's really kind of up to you on that. And that is that purple, like sugar plum type palette. Again, it's Biscotti, Dusty Rose, Sweet Plum, and Mahogany were those colors, which you probably never would have put those together if you wanted to wear those. So Sherry is going to share one final thing with us, and then we're going to be done
Yep.
and let you guys go, and then share a secret code word with you for
Yep.
surprise.
So keep in mind when you are wearing eye makeup, and even when you don't wear eye makeup, you do want to be cleaning the eye area. You know, we all have icky eye mites. You can Google it. They're actually real. And when we go to bed at night and we haven't cleaned the eye area, you're only feeding them and growing them. Even if, like I said, you don't wear eye makeup, this is a cleanser. We have a fabulous oil-free eye makeup remover. It is amazing, and it is a cleanser for the eye area as well as an eye makeup remover, and you just shake it up and you get the benefits of both. I actually have guys that use this as well because obviously they're not wearing eye makeup, but they need to be cleaning their eye area too. Ophthalmologist tested, safe for contact lens wearers, absolutely fabulous. All of our products are safe for sensitive skin, non-comedogenic, all those good things. So what I did earlier was I actually did a little line with our eyeliner, which is amazing. And it's wonderful because it stays. It's like smudge proof, water resistant, all those good things. It stays. Once you put it on, you just let it dry a little bit and it stays. But just to show you how easy it comes off, you just get a little bit of the eye makeup remover on a little cotton pad. Doesn't even take very much, and it just removes it. Couple swipes, it's gone. And P.S., this is our really cool blue color. So just wanted to share that with you.
Awesome. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and watching. We hope that you've learned something that will inspire you, give you some courage to play with eye makeup more, because it's fun. It's just makeup. You can take it off at the end of the day. So we are going to be sending out feedback forms for prizes for our drawing. And so the code word, of course, that you're going to put on that form is going to be eyeshadow. So we're going to send that out to you via email. And we're going to give them, what do we say? Because today's Wednesday. So we're going to wait until, is it Friday that we are going to do? So give them 48 hours instead of 24 hours.
Well, you still have 24 hours to get the feedback form in, but rather than tomorrow evening texting everybody after we've done the drawing, I'm just going to go ahead and wait until Friday to send that out. So there's still 24 hours to get the feedback form in, to get into the door prize drawing, and then we'll notify the winners on Friday just so that we're not sending it out at evening.
Yes.
And so some of you, if you did put down on the registration form your phone number, your cell phone number, you'll probably be getting it via text just to have it to you more immediately, because I know sometimes we don't check our emails for a little bit.
Or it goes to your spam folder. So
that's true. That's true.
So be on the lookout for the text or email with the feedback form for you guys to fill out, which will give some great feedback to us so we can keep making these events even better. And then that will get you entered into the prize drawing as well. And again, thank you so much for watching tonight. And we hope that you've had fun. And we'll see you again next month. So bye, you guys.
Thank you. Good night.